Hi, my name is Arjun and welcome to Energize, the tech revolution. Today we have a very special guest amongst us. Dr. Arjunan is an industry expert with over 15 years of experience in customer support, product management, digital transformation, and sustainability across the software, manufacturing, and energy sectors. Dr. Arjunan is currently serving as Senior Director of Sustainability Solutions at Aspen Tech. His career includes key roles at ExxonMobil, where he drove optimization projects in refining and olefins production, achieving significant operational value. In this episode, he will share insights from his career journey, discuss trends in sustainability, and explore strategies for aligning product roadmaps with business goals. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Arjun, I'm pleased to be here and I really appreciate the invite. I look forward to this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise. So, Jay, before we dive into your professional journey, would love to learn a little bit more about the inspirational behind your educational background. Now, you have a bachelor's, master's, and a PhD in chemical engineering. What is it that excited you about chemical engineering that led you to pursue an education in this field?
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, definitely it starts. The career choice starts kind of during your high school time, and that is where you learn. You move from an area of very generic subject to some specific subjects. You know when it is science, you learn about physics, chemistry, biology, and math. So that's where I had a lot of interest in chemistry during my high school, and my choice was chemical engineering because of that for during my undergrad. But later, when I pursued undergrad, what I learned is chemical engineering is very different from chemistry. Of course, it has elements of chemistry, but there are other elements that make it very exciting. Particularly, chemical engineering has a lot of mathematics as well. So math, partial differential equation, calculus, or other elements. So we, during my undergrad, I was able to, in addition to chemistry, engineering, I was able to take several classes in mathematics, which is quite inspiring, and it's very interesting how the foundations of engineering is led by science like chemistry, physics, and mathematics. So that's one inspiration. And after that, when I came to the US, I started my master's in chemical engineering. Same thing, get to learn a lot in math. So there is a lot of passion in math, and it becomes more. My passion becomes more of an applied math rather than theoretical math. So the chemical engineering subject gave me the opportunity to apply mathematics in the real world and engineering. So that's basically my inspiration.
That's great to hear, Jay. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, in terms of your professional journey, you started off as senior technical support consultant, and now you are senior director of sustainability solutions in Aspen Tech. Could you share more about your professional journey and of your current, and also about your current role in Aspen Tech?
Definitely. So yeah, after my PhD, I started as a senior technical support consultant at Aspen Tech. So this role is the title is basically customer support and training. So what customer support is really a fancy call center type of environment. You receive customer calls, emails about software questions. So customer sends questions like, well, my software is crashing. Can you help me model this reactor? Can you help me model this supply chain network? And then obviously there are issues like, okay, while I perform this activity, I'm getting this error message. Could you help me? So it's really really a much more technical knowledge, high level of technical knowledge is required to help your customer to solve their problems. And these softwares are critical for their everyday activity, affecting their production in refinery or their bigger chemical plants. So it gives me a sense of, the importance of my role. I also always feel like, okay, I am playing a very critical role here, helping the customer to solve the problems in the phone through emails within a short turnaround period, so they are not stuck. So they can move on with their activities, so the production doesn't get affected. So. So that's how I started my journey, and also the customer support role also helped me to train industry professionals on using AspenTech solutions, particularly petroleum supply chain solutions. Petroleum supply chain solution involves, there is a product called PIMS, which is we have around 90% market share. I was training them on network optimization. I was training customers on planning, scheduling, blending. There are many other supply chain tools. So definitely this is an exciting part of this role where you get to travel around the world to deliver training to customers on these areas. And by this, you also develop a strong network of professionals in this area. So that's how I started my career as a technical support consultant. No dull day. Okay, every day is pretty exciting, and it's one of the best role I had. After that, I was promoted to lead the customer support team at AspenTech, the supply chain team at AspenTech. I was leading the global team. Around 7 people are reporting to me, and then here is where I was able to get the opportunity to coach new team members to deliver training, also help customers solving this problem. Actually, customer support, it's also exciting. At the same time, it's a high pressure job because the turnaround time is quickly. So basically, when I become the manager, I had the opportunity to unlock human values, train people, coach them. How can they quickly get onboarded with this job, get help to the customers, train the customers. So it was pretty exciting. And during my time, I hired around 3 new hires. Basically, they have master's degree in chemical engineering. I brought them on board. Within 4 or 5 months, I was able to make them productive and get them streamlined to their regular job routines. So after this, while I was leading this customer support role, I got the opportunity to work for ExxonMobil. So I took that offer because I thought I have tremendous experience in the software side of us. So if I work for ExxonMobil, I get some business experience, the real world experience. So I worked for ExxonMobil for around 5 years. During my time at ExxonMobil, I was able to learn technologies in the area of aromatics, olefins, and refinery, which was pretty good. Able to develop some new technologies using the software, new way of solving the problems, improve production efficiency, and so on. By that time, I want to really take some risk in my career. So I got an opportunity to work for a startup company based on artificial intelligence. They were developing artificial intelligence technology for refinery optimization. So I took this offer. This company is called Beyond Limits in Los Angeles. I was working there for around 6 months. During the time, AspenTech came back, and then they offered me a position in product management, manufacturing and supply chain product management. Kind of all my previous experience really positioned me to do a great to do or get ready for this job. And product management is pretty new, and I always had a passion to get into product management even during my customer support days, because during that time I worked with developers, product managers, and so on. So I thought this is a great opportunity for me to get into product management. I took that opportunity, and during the I worked as a director of product management for the MSC solutions for around 2 years. During this time, the sustainability becomes a very trending phenomena in the market. And sustainability solution requires quite a bit of cross-functional or cross-software solution collaborations. It's not just an engineering solution that's going to solve the sustainability problem or the manufacturing supply chain. So it is a combination of all of those things. So the company recognized my skills in multiple solutions, the experience in working in different business portfolios like engineering, supply chain, asset performance management, and so on. And they told me I would be the right person to take on this role. So I was promoted to senior director for sustainability solutions during this time, and I took this role. And of course, you asked me what I do in this role. So this role is a combination of solution development. So the concept of solution is slightly different from product. Product is we kind of call that as a single product, but solution is a combination of multiple product which is orchestrated or which works together to solve a problem. For example, in my role, I created solutions, sustainability solutions for energy efficiency and emissions management, carbon capture, storage and utilization, hydrogen economy, biofeedstock and optimization, circular economy, and and those things. So for all of these, we call that in AspenTech, or we call that as sustainability solution pathways. All these pathways is a combination of solutions. So in my role, I create these solutions, and also 50% is very much creation of these solution, and the rest 50% is driving sales for the company. So talking to customer, responding to customer request for sustainability solutions, showing demo for the customers how we can help them solve, and also you know participate in advisory groups or run advisory groups to understand the market, understand customer needs, so that we just don't develop solutions in the vacuum. So that's also a part of this part of it. Also, I have people reporting to me, a global team reporting to me, and everyone has their own task. Someone is very much customer facing, someone are very much technology focused. So I'm in the product management organization, but my team is more of a solutions team, and my team members are also called as solution managers rather than product managers.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Such an exciting professional journey, Jay. Now, for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, could you define what exactly is sustainability? Why is it important? What are its benefits in which industries? And also, what are some of the common pain points of sustainability in these industries?
Definitely. So, I mean, I will quote what the World Commission on Environment and Development have come up with this definition on sustainability. So, sustainable development is development that meets the need of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. I think it is very well put, right? That's really what sustainability means. So we want to meet the current needs, but also we need to keep in mind about our future generation, so they also have the resources for them, right? So this is a definition framed by the World Commission on Environment and Development. So when it comes to sustainability as well, it's a very broad topic. Okay. So sustainability, many times we think about climate change is um, because because of the nature of the problem, there is an acceleration required. There is more action required in this area. But sustainability also has other things like deforestation, land usage, eutrophication, and so on. In my profession, I majoritarily focus on climate change. Okay, the energy industry also very much focused on climate change. What actions that the energy companies can take to mitigate climate change? So after going through the definition of sustainability, you asked me about like what are some of the common challenges these energy industries face. I will talk about few technologies in this sector, like so these are the technologies I'm going to mention are not new, which is already existing, but I will talk about the technology and the challenges that we face. So one of the technologies, like you might have heard about from energy intensive or asset intensive industries like refining, cement, and steel industry, they always talk about carbon capture, utilization, and storage. This is a promising technology which captures the CO2, but at the same time, it faces economic challenges and requires significant infrastructure and investment with current global adoption for. That is a challenge. We are still working. It is a combination of software solution and hardware. We are working on it. Energy storage, right? So wind and solar are great renewable energy, but at the same time, if there is an excess energy, we need to figure out how to store that. Is very important. So this technology has been advancing in leaps and bounds, the energy storage technology, but it is still a challenge. The third one I want to mention about is the green hydrogen technology. So what is so interesting about green hydrogen is hydrogen doesn't have a carbon atom in it. So when you burn hydrogen, you're not making CO2, right? So CO2 is a greenhouse gas which is not generated when you use hydrogen. So hydrogen is a great fuel, correct? But at the same time, when you manufacture hydrogen, it should be green. Right, there are several processes that can be used for making hydrogen. There is a common process called steam methane reforming that takes methane, transform into hydrogen. But at the same time, this process generates CO2 in it. Then you defeat the purpose, correct? But green hydrogen technology like electrolysis, which doesn't produce CO2, what it does is it takes power from solar, wind, and then it electrolyzes water and then produces hydrogen. So this is a promising technology. However, there are significant hurdle in terms of economics. Now, I kind of focused on few technologies. There are some other general things also is involved here. Supply chain issues, right? The global supply chain for critical components like solar PVs and clean energy technology kind of is overly reliant on few countries, right? It is kind of concentrated in certain areas. That is a problem. Digitalization and AI. So now with ChatGPT and other technologies, the AI technology is emerging. But at the same time, we need to really figure out how this technology can be applied. We really need brilliant people to figure out how this AI technology can be applied to use cases. You might have heard terms like AI washing. You cannot just implement AI for the sake of AI, but you really need to have a clear use case. And there is a challenge to it, but I think AI is going to solve a lot of problems. For example, I was talking about energy storage issues, right? We can use AI technology using weather data. We can forecast weather renewable energy availability accurately. If you can predict those using AI technology, then of course your grid can be more flexible and resilient, right? That is one use case where AI technology can be applied, and Aspentech is already using those technology. But that's just one example. But there are many areas where we can use this technology. So these are some of the barriers, but I would say these barriers are really a stepping stone where we can use latest technology and use the brilliant minds to solve these problems.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jay. Now, what are the consequences for companies if they were not to meet, sustainability initiatives and net zero goals? Do they have to pay any fines, penalty, any consequences?
I think geographically it varies. In Europe, already there are penalties and consequences, regulatory. For example, when if you had a chance, similar to stock price, the CO2 price changes every day. So the customer are penalized based on the amount of CO2 they emit from their manufacturing facilities. This is one example in Europe. Yeah, in the United States, although there are not you know regulatory that is penalizing, but there are specifications as well, right? Like for example, in California, there are some regulations for what the amount of sulfur that needs to be in the fuel. Low carbon fuels and so on. And there are the United States government is providing incentives for projects like carbon capture, green hydrogen, and so on. So to answer your question, it is a combination of incentives and regulatory laws or regulations to tackle this problem. Of course, there are consequences, but again, what is happening, at least in the current trend, companies are becoming more responsible. The companies are voluntarily reporting their environmental metrics to agencies like Carbon Disclosure Project, CSRD, and so on. Now, SEC has some new regulations, which is also voluntary. Many customers are reporting their sustainability metrics there. AspenTech is also reporting the sustainability metrics there. If you are wondering where you can find those information, if it's available for free. If you look at finance.yahoo.com and you go to each of the ticker symbol, and if you do an analysis, there is a tab for sustainability. If you click on that, these sustainability metrics are transformed through total shareholder return. These metrics are also transformed to information of materiality. So when I say information of materiality, it does influence investors' decisions. These metrics. So obviously, it is not a metric of environmental impact, but it is a metric that is tied to the profitability and the survivability of the company. But yeah, in another chance, we can definitely go through those metrics, which is quite interesting because when you look at look at the value of a company, you don't really the investability of the company is not just depending on the book value, right? It is also dependent on how innovative the company is, right? Is the company is investing in promising technology. Likewise, now sustainability also become an embedded metrics into information of materiality, which also is a key factor that investment companies like BlackRock use before investing in a company. So these, I kind of gave you a roundabout answers to summarize regulations, incentives, as well as metrics on materiality.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Jay. Now, early in our conversation, you did allude to a few solutions that AspenTech is developing and offering to its customers. But could you deep dive into a few of those products, and also how is AI and data analytics being used in the product development journey in those specific products? Would love to hear more.
Thank you. So AI is nothing new to AspenTech. AI is a term widely used. What is unique about AspenTech in terms of AI is it is industrial AI. It is a combination of the power of data, the AI, plus expert knowledge. That's where AspenTech makes the difference. That's the industrial AI. It's not just it's a hybrid approach. We have strong foundations of expert knowledge of physics, knowledge of first principle, that is combined with AI. That way it becomes more powerful. And this industrial AI technology, as I mentioned, is not new for AspenTech. It is embedded in many of our solutions and many of our products, which our customers are already using it, already deriving or already making a lot of value out of it. Okay, just to give you a few examples, the weather forecasting, the renewable energy forecasting based on weather data is one. We also have a technology called hybrid modeling, okay, which is AI technology helps you to develop models, develop engineering models or digital twin type models. Okay, what is so important is here is where it is not just a purely data-driven models. We bring in expert knowledge and first principle knowledge to this model. In addition to that, we offer explainability to the models as well. So it is not just a black box models. Likewise, we have AI agents in our predictive maintenance solutions, which will help you to predict failures of machines and instruments much earlier so that you can take actions and reduce downtime. So in an industry software sense, we have AI in most of our solutions, and already customers are getting value out of it.
That's great to hear, Jay. Could you share some specific success stories from some of your customers?
Yeah, definitely. I I would keep it in a very general theme. In terms of energy and emissions management, we are able to help like customers like 50 billion in industry energy efficiency in an energy emission, energy and emissions management solution. In terms of carbon capture and storage, we are helping customers around 339 projects, which is valued around 168 billions. In terms of hydrogen economy, there is over 634 projects that we are helping, which valued around $771 billion. Sustainable fuels, okay, around 157 projects and the value of $81 billion. So these are very large scale projects where our software plays an essential or an important role helping our customers.
That's great to hear, Jay. Thank you for sharing that. Now, in terms of future trends, where do you see, the sustainability trends going in the energy sector? If there are any additional technological barriers that you'd like to share, and also how is your company's product roadmap being developed to tap into these trends?
Oh yeah, sure. I will, I will not talk about the roadmap because we don't really talk about that. But I can definitely talk about some of the exciting new technologies, right? For example, like the recent excitement about the solar in solar technology is the next generation solar technology. You might have heard about this. There is something called uh, peroxide solar cells, okay, that are emerging as a promising alternative to traditional silicon-based cells, which efficiency rates exceeding around 30% in lab settings now. Okay, so if it becomes commercial, that's really it's going to make a difference. This peroxide is a very hot topic in the solar energy area. There are floating wind farms, a lot of floating wind farms people are thinking about. The green hydrogen production, I already talked about it, right? So renewable energy, the kind of electrolyze water to produce it. There are very new electrolysis technology, which is more efficient and robust. People are doing it. I talked about the energy storage technology. I want to give you an exciting data about this energy storage technology. We know Tesla as an electric car manufacturer, but they also have battery packs which serves as energy storage. So, for example, in Q2, the Q2 2024 results, Tesla deployed around 9.4 gigawatt hours of battery storage, more than doubling its deployment from the same quarter in the previous year. Around 9.4 gigawatts it's pretty amazing. And this record deployment represents a 131% increase from the previous quarter and a 157% increase in year over year. So this energy storage is, if we deploy at this scale, our renewable energy doesn't go as waste. Our grid becomes more resilient, flexible, and the grid becomes much more reliable if you have these solutions. And the Tesla's energy generation and storage segment revenue doubled year over year to over 3 billion in Q2 2024, contributing nearly 12% of Tesla's total revenue.
Well,
So when you look at it, right, energy storage, it's not really something like a pie in the sky. There is a constant development, and year over year, this technology is exponentially growing. Okay, the another thing, I mean, with the advent of chat GPT and everything, we are always thinking about how we can use the artificial intelligence technology to accelerate some of our innovations as well. And OpenAI has their model, right? Facebook has their model, Llama. Google has their model, Gemini, right? And now I don't know whether you heard about something called Perplexity, which helps you to gather information fast. With all of these technologies also going to accelerate some of our innovation and make us achieve these, make us, take up, definitely, we are already making breakthroughs, and this will continue.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jay. Now, shifting our conversation towards a career standpoint, you are such a successful leader in the sustainability space. For somebody who's looking to get into the sustainability space in the energy sector as a project, program, or a product leader, what sort of advice would you have for them in terms of acquiring certain skill sets, particular trade shows and conferences that they attend? Would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think this is a great area, but at the same time, it is pretty broad. There are, circular economy, plastic recycling, everything is sustainability, right? Like, there is so, you know, what you can do is kind of find your interest. What's your interest? But although it is so broad, what is so interesting is even if you are a chemical engineer, even if you are an electrical engineer, or even if you are a computer engineer, you have a role to play here. That is so important. You don't really need to be a specialist in sustainability. People with diverse background and has a role to play here, so that is so important. So I would suggest, yes, to attend some trade shows and so on. Here, some of the things I attended last year, the Sera Week I attended, it requires some enrollment fee. It may be a little bit expensive, but if you can ask your company of your organization to sponsor, that would be great. I also attended something called the Amazon Web Services Energy Symposium last time, which is free. So that I was able to gain a lot of insights, and you can see Microsoft has a booth in it. Amazon has a booth in it. So what are these companies doing with sustainability? All of these companies now has net zero goal. So this will give you an idea how you can use your existing skill set or apply your existing background for the sustainability challenges. Also, there was a conference which is really big, Gas Tech, which is also free to attend. So these are some of the conferences that you can attend to gain more insight in this area.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jay. So that concludes the formal portion of our interview for today. We like to end our podcast with a fun segment called a rapid fire, where our viewers and listeners get to learn a little bit more about the personal side of our guests. So, as part of this rapid fire, I'll be asking you three quick questions. So, are you ready?
Thank you.
Great, Jay. So, firstly, as this is a tech podcast, would love to learn what's your favorite app or a hardware product that you enjoy using?
So, I mean, it changes often, right? I don't have a constant one, but the latest one I really like it. There is something called perplexity.ai, which is an app which is similar to Google. But what is so nice about this app is that the search that you are doing is very targeted. Google gives you so many pages to look for, but Perplexity narrow down the search. Not only that, after it searches, it also gives you cross references. It will point out the sources where it will pick. So if you are doing, like, sometimes if you want to do some market research, or if you want to do some targeted work, this Perplexity AI is pretty good. So I really that is my latest favorite app.
That's great to hear. Secondly, Jay, what's a book that you've read that has had a big impact on your life and why?
Actually, in terms of book, I haven't read many books, but I can mention two, right? Like, Rich Dad Poor Dad on a financial term. I really like it. It's a very simple book, and it makes you think about how you need to be financially responsible as well. Another book I recently read is Sacred Seven, which is a very good book on product management. After I finished reading this book, this also really further enhanced my interest in the field of product management. It helps, product management is not really about frameworks on everything. After I read the book, how things are changing faster, right? How you need to be very adaptable, how you need to be adaptable to new things and new think while you think about new products. So Sacred Seven is also I want to mention few things. Of course, nowadays reading a book it takes a lot of time. And of course, the interest has been reduced, people reading books. And Arjun, you are doing broadcast. So podcast is another media which I always like. Some of the podcasts I would like to highlight here is like How I Build with Guy Raz. It's a very good one. I like Business Wars. I used to listen to that. There is one from Robert Huberman. He's a neuroscientist from MIT. He talks a lot about health aspects. So these are some of the things I would recommend. There are so many, of course, but these are some of the things that you can consider to expand your knowledge or learn these topics quickly.
Thank you so much, Jay, for sharing those. Now, lastly, do you have any final words of wisdom, perhaps a short story or a quote that you'd like to share with members of our audience?
Yeah, definitely. So throughout my career, what I understand is, whatever you do, please try to adapt yourself. That makes you very successful. Of course, whenever you choose a new career or a new field or even a new job, uh, we need to always keep in mind this is new. We may face challenges, but how fast you can adapt, or how you can adapting yourself means learning things quickly, developing relationship quickly, getting along with people, how you develop your network. It all matters. So for me, the success is majority of the time I have seen in my career is how quick you can adapt is defines your success.
Very, very sound advice. Thank you for sharing that, Jay. So that concludes our interview for today. How can our viewers and listeners get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can contact me in LinkedIn, J Arjunan, JEY Arjunan. You can search my name. You can add me in LinkedIn. That's a good one. My email is my first name, jeyarathan@gmail.com, and you can share it with the audience.
Will do. So thank you so much, Jay, for being on our show today. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure having you. And thank you so much for sharing your subject matter expertise on digital sustainability. From the team at Energize, wishing you and the entire digital team of Aspen Tech lots of growth and lots of success.
Thank you, Arjun. So pleased to spend the time with you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our episode for today. And remember, you're one product away from transformation. I'm Arjun Chaudhary.